Yo, introduce yourself.
Yo, it's DJ JRK, the INC. Just revealed knowledge, intelligent new creator. Jonathan Ramon Kidd, I never chill. Peace out to the DC crew and to Def Crew 3 and to 5 and C worldwide. Yeah, to the 47th Street crew, y'all know who you is. My cousin JB Silky, DJ Ice Merv, my man Pahu, rest in peace. Peace to my man Insane Ike, my man Terrence, all y'all cats. You know, my homeboy Mickey D, aka Big Fist. Yeah, representing. And my man Jesse, you know, go by one Boosie, you know. Much love. And much love to my man LaRon. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us about some of the cats you seen back in the days. Anybody that got some styles from you guys in Chicago?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Chicago was more of a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? We already played like the electro funk type stuff, or what you would call the electro music, because we go back to the days of playing stuff like Dangerous Liaison and Kraftwerk. We was playing Kraftwerk way back then. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and I remember when I was a shorty, I was like in I think it was like sixth or seventh grade. We was doing, you know, my homies, Tommy Ben and my homeboy Tory Brown. They was getting ready, you know, they was practicing for the talent show. And we had to rent the little school record player, and they had the little 45 of Numbers by Kraftwerk. But another room had already rented the what's the name? The little record machine, the little record player, right? Because it was the little record player that had the speakers on top of it, and you detach the speakers, and then you had the little turntable right there and stuff, and you hook the speakers in to the little turntable. Yeah, that's what we was using back. You know, this was in grammar school, so they wasn't able to practice to the music.
What years was this?
I was like in sixth grade. Let's see, I'll be 51 this year, 2021. I'll be 51. So I would have to say this had to been around. Let's see, it had to been around the 80s, early 80s.
So that hip house sound that everybody says was from New York was already out.
The hip hop house sound in Chicago, Fast Eddie it was a DJ named Fast Eddie and his crew. They gave birth to the hip house sound.
Remember the crew?
I don't remember his crew per se, because it was more than just, it was a lot of other DJs, but he was the forefront of the hip house sound.
Oh.
He had a song called Get Busy and Yo Yo Get Funky. And it was fast, it was a fast-paced sound and stuff like that. And so what he was doing, that came out, hip house came out around 86, 87. Around 86, 87. You know, he was the father of hip house, because the reason hip house was created, because you had a few Chicago DJs that was house music DJs, but they were also in hip hop. But you know, because like I said, I started out as far as DJing, I started out as a house music DJ and everything, but I was always a b-boy. I did graffiti. I done, I rap,
Well, what influences of from b-boying or popping or strutting did you see pick up, but more importantly was around you in your area?
I'm gonna tell you like this. I shout out to my cousin JB Silky. He the one that got me. He the one that introduced me to well. I used to always see him do the robot and stuff. Back in the days, like when we were younger, we saw Michael Jackson doing the robot and dancing machine and all this and all that. And on Soul Train, you know, and seeing like rerun, you know, popping and doing this and that. And my younger brother, Rance, you know, he the first one, cause he used to do the tick. He used to tick, like do it like that, right? And when you know, me and him and Jumba would have popping contests and all this and all that and everything like that. So I knew how to pop and I knew how to robot. And then I just started seeing I used to battle other B-boys, you know, around the neighborhood. This had to been around about, I'd say like 80, 82, 83. Yeah, when I got into the b-boying and stuff, 82, 83, around 82, 83. Yeah, and I got into the b-boying and stuff, you know. I was wearing the Dr. Scruggs and I was, you know, tying them up and stuffing them in my sock and, you know, stuff like that. So I looked more, you know. And it was I got influenced by seeing a lot of West Coast. I was seeing a lot of West Coast poppers and stuff like that from like the early Soul Train and like later on, and then seeing breaking, and then that just added more to my flavor. And then other guys who I saw that used to pop and, you know, all that and lock and everything like that, I saw them doing it.
Get some shout outs to some of the people that might have been poppers, graph artists, some OGs that may come to mind that may not never got their props due.
Man, I would say the whole Syndicate crew out there in Chicago. My man MC Crash, Def Crew 3, Mosa, Puma, Tut, yeah, even Design. This one writer named Design One. He named himself after the design markers. Yeah, that's classic. But me and him got into a battle over peace books back in the day and stuff like that. My man Forecast. It was so many. BASF crew, BASF, and TDK crew. You know. Man, I can't. It was so many, and my homeboy too. You know what I'm saying? When I saw him doing it, when I saw him getting up, I saw his piece book, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then that got me into doing like pieces and stuff like that. So by doing that, I was influenced by a lot of just the city in general. You know what was going on in the city. You know, as far as the music, as far as the culture, because you have a lot of people that was in the gang culture in Chicago. Some of them, they grasped on the hip hop. And you had some of them that was into the house music. You know, a lot of b-boys used to go to, you know, some of the house music parties and start b-boying at the house music parties and stuff like that. If you look at some old footage and stuff like that, and the thing is, a lot of us, we used to b-boy to a lot of old disco music, like Sing Sing by Gaz. Let's see, Bra by Cinnamon. But we call that, but see, in Chicago, we call Bra Godfather of house music, because they used that sample to do this one, Ron Hardy. Peace to Ron Hardy, a big influence on me and my DJing, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of Chicago DJs and New York DJs and things, just DJs, period, that influenced me, you know.
Well, it seems like you guys influenced other people too, because there's, I don't want to say a urban legend or myth, but how New York really took the hip house sound.
Oh yeah.
And especially the JBs were known to do that.
Oh yeah.
You want to comment on that?
If you listen to that record, Girl, I House You, all the records that they're sampling are Chicago artists, real house music. Dun, 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 dun. That's Move Your Body by Marshall Jefferson, a Chicago house DJ and a Chicago house artist that created the song Move Your Body, the house music anthem. And then he also had the song called Ride the Rhythm. But also, Ron Hardy used to break a lot of his records too. And let's see, we in Chicago, we took a lot of old disco records and stuff, like, or groups, like underground, like new age groups, or just out, you know, I would say
like funk bands?
Either funk bands, new wave, punk, anything that had a nice rhythm to it. And break it down to like, and just let that ride, just let that groove ride. And everybody just get open on it. You know? Cass was getting, like really, really open on it. And the thing that was really dope to me, that I felt that I witnessed, it was like the growth of hip hop and hip house and house music, you know, coming from the underground in Chicago, just melding together. And then, you know, it just started growing and growing. I mean, I remember me and my man Big Fist, aka Mickey D, back in the days, when we were DJing and stuff with our crew, DC crew. It was me, Mickey D, and his cousin Jack Master G's. All right. We would take old. We'll be mixing records like house music and stuff like that. You know, we'd be doing basement house parties, all this and all that, and we would take like disco break records, and we rhymed over it. And we rhymed over because it was a part on it was this one record that was called this is when I was doing my pause mixing, my pause mixtapes and stuff. So what I would do, I would hear part of one song, I'll play it, and I have a double cassette, and I would stop it, rewind it back, and play that part, elongate that part. The same as the cats in New York. They wasn't the only ones doing that. When those thoughts, when the creative thought hit, it hit it everywhere. It didn't just hit New York. It didn't just hit LA. It hit the Midwest, and it hit it down south too. Because I'm quite sure you had cats down south doing the same thing.
And there was anybody that was spearheading that out there? Like, was there, like some of the Godfathers that like just originaters or?
Well, you had D.A. Smart doing his thing back in the days. Man, oh wow. You had, they used to have this thing, Jack the Rapper. You had, it was so many of them. It was, I would say you had DJ JP Chill on WHBK, and then you had Ramonski Love on, he was original. I think Ramonski Love originally started, if I'm not mistaken, he started on either WBMX or WKKC. I think he used to go back and forth between. I think he used to be on KKC sometimes, but Ramonski Love was on either GCI or WBMX, and then you had Pink House. He played house music, but he also played hip hop, and then he also played what they call now, what it originated, I would say Ghetto House originated on the west side of Chicago, but it was called Ghetto House. He played Ghetto House too. So it was the music that kept a lot of the gangbangers and the OGs and stuff like that, at bay, because they would throw the parties and stuff, throw these functions, and cats to be, they be in there enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask too, like, if those are the origins, what is there an event or a certain time or just a year that it did it for Chicago? And Chicago knew, you guys knew this was hip hop, or New York, it was Run DMC or somebody, like somebody that was like, wow, we did it, we know we're here, we got something, or we got something for the world to see. Was it the dances, the music, like anybody particular?
It was all of it. But what really stood out to me, see, I left before, I left and joined the Navy before it really just blew for Chicago. I left for the Navy in 89, and that's when I moved to San Diego. And New York was then, I'm sorry hearing about Twister and
Common Sense.
and it was these cats called, I think it was this cat called Juggernaut.
Yeah.
I mean, you had artists that had their own stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? You had artists. Oh man, I can't think of my man's name. Forgive me for forgetting your name. Oh my goodness. But my boy Shout Body McCray, shouts out to you, Chi-Town, Chi-Town OG MC. You're still doing your thing. You're doing your thing from San Diego to Chicago and all the places in between. Man. I'm trying to think of my man's name. Sluggo. DJ Sluggo. Yeah. You had Sluggo, you had EC Illa, Crucial Conflict,
I know, yeah.
you had Psychodrama, Man.
What
Yeah,
was,
Common,
what were some of the places that like
Do or Die.
do or die? Y'all rocked like a lot of parks. Was it street jams?
You had parks. You had certain parks that would have meetup places in Chicago.
Neutral.
Yeah, they would be like meetup places for the graph writers. They had a little writers bench. If you look at Twister's video, it was one of his more. I think this video is about 3 or 4 years old. But in the video, he's at the place where they used to have where all the hip hoppers used to meet up, and it's like a little bridge, like corridor type spot though. You had Purple Mansion jumping off. Rock Nation, you know, and you had Zulu Nation out there in Chicago also. But some beef had went down with the Zulu Nation in Chicago. They disrespected Chicago, so word was out, you know. That's another story. So, you know, that's when the Rock Nation started.
Well, let me ask you a question. So, you know, obviously a popular dancer, rest in power, you know.
Shabba-Doo.
Shabba-Doo.
I used to see
Original
him
from
with the
Chicago.
pop.
He was
I
from
used to
Chicago
see him
before he went out to
rocking
LA.
I used to see him on Soul Train though. That's why I said I learned a lot of my moves off Soul Train, and you know, the robot and all this and all that.
Let me ask you then, because we both talk and love all kinds of breaking and b-boying and hip hop dance, but strutting. Not only why strutting, but what style of strutting is it that is what you fascinated or came to you guys first, or to you? Because obviously I think you're dope with your strutting, and is it that you took it as a poppin' first, or what? Talk to me.
I never knew it was called strutting. I'm gonna tell you like this. We never knew. A lot of us in Chicago, when we did the moves, we knew in 1990, and we knew windmills, hand spins. We used to call, when you do this, we used to call that the crab walk. A regular backspin, when you spin it on your back, you know, on your back like that. Head spins, popping. We just considered popping and locking. It was popping, locking, strutting. You know, that was all, you know, it was all one thing. Because in Chicago, when you was a b-boy and stuff, you come out there, you know, first you come out there, you know, popping and everything like that, and then you go into your top rock, you know, your up rock or whatever you call it, your top rock or whatever, and then you go down to your footwork, and then you go into the spinning and all that. That's how we did it. That's how we did it in Chicago.
And then who did you first see with the specific strutting moves that you were able to incorporate that into?
My cousin JB Silky. My cousin, and
Where was his influence from? From the West Coast?
my cousin JB Silky. I don't know who was his influence, but he used to always show me new stuff. Cause he's a year older than me. His birthday just passed. He turned 52. Much love.
Chicago? He's Chicago?
Yes, but he lives in Charlotte, North Carolina now. I can say I saw him strutting, and like I say, I used to watch Soul Train and stuff, and so when they had the poppers and stuff on there, and I would see how they would move, and I'm like, yo, that look crazy. So all they was doing, what you would call strutting, it just looked like they was just, you know, doing like little bitty motions in a way. So I said, that looked dope. But I would say the ultimate that made me really, really, really see what wave was all about was waving and because we in popping we used to do something called animation and stuff like that. And then when I moved out to San Diego, California, I got put up on this dude called Mr. Animation.
Rest in power.
And I saw, rest in peace, that dude, yeah.
Air Force crew.
Yes.
Yep.
But see, I used to watch Friday night videos, right? When they had the Gap Band on there, doing the song Party Train. And they had Pop and Taco, all them cats, you know, on Venice Beach in the boxing ring, and they was popping and, you know, you know, all that. And even Lionel Richie had B-Boys in his All Night Long video. If you look at the All Night Long video. But I would say when I saw Shabba-Doo and I would say Shabba-Doo and Boogaloo Shrimp. When I saw them, everybody, when breaking came out, everybody was trying to do that little breakdance move with the broom and all that, and, you know, call yourself, you know, trying to up the wall, you know, whatever, all that stuff. And it was, and I would say it came also from me just watching my homies dance. Watching my homies dance in grammar school and all this, and like, you know, like I said, my homeboy Tommy Ben and my homeboy Tory Brown, right? They was rehearsing, and while they were rehearsing, it was like they was rehearsing their little moves, right? They little what you call it, their routine. And while they was rehearsing their routine, they you know, they didn't have the music. So I'm sitting there, they said, okay, they was up there trying to get their routine together. Then I just started going. I was watching them, I said, all right, this is what I went.
1, 2.
I started making the sound effects of the record. And they was like, and they said, yo, John, do that again. So I started making, my first beatbox was Numbers. That was my first beatbox. And this was like I said, I was like in sixth grade, seventh grade, something like that. So this had been around 83, 82, something like that, around that time. So I'm up there making the sound effect. I'm not knowing that was called beatboxing. And my homies, they was up there, you know, started popping and doing all their stuff and their little moves and everything. And I'm like, you know, and that's what got me into imitating sounds on records. And when I heard Rocket by Herbie Hancock, and What's the other one? Art of Noise, beatbox. You know, I thought that was like a mega mix of something. I didn't know what it was when I first heard it. But I would say, as far as my ear for music, it came from growing up listening to various different types of music. You know, just various different types. Everything from Tom Jones to whatever, you know, and that kind of enhanced in you know, growing up in the church and hearing gospel music and this and that, and then a few gospel singers made like some R&B joints, you know, or this and that, and by being, you know, and by house music was the staple music in Chicago, a lot of DJs, old school, you know, a lot of the old school house music DJs was playing like a few like gospel songs, like I think it was Eddie Kendricks, "He Is a Friend of Mine." He is a friend of... That one, they would play that, you know, and be like bumping it, like it'll be like boom, 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 and then you hearing all these different types of music. So growing up and having an ear, you know, and and being a DJ, being a house music DJ, that kind of helped me when I was dancing. Because if you're a DJ, you're hearing things that you know, a regular dancer probably wouldn't hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hearing all the little nuances and things of that nature. And like when I was popping, I would hear certain nuances in certain songs that everybody would be like, well, the average person, until if they didn't know the song, they'll be like, what is he doing? But then, like when I moved to that particular rhythm on that song, then they'd be like, oh. So I would say that's what helped me when I'm about strutting per se and things of that nature.